What up, y'all? Back to the development of Steve here. The first thing I wanted to do is create a color shifting battery monitor. So, created a little function. I used a get progress bar update with a color lerp on a tick, something like that. And here you go, beautiful color shifting battery monitor. The next thing I wanted to do was get into a little bit of this mining effect. I used a little bit of a particle system to create this hidden and unhidden particle effect and then destroy the resource. And that creates a little bit of immersion there. I really love that effect. Then I wanted to update my resources from a standard sphere to this basic crystal object that I created in Blender. And I started updating my level a little bit by throwing some of these in there. It also updated just where all the resources already were. And that's kind of the vibe. Something messed up when I opened my session on that one, and I fixed it. Then I had to create a level to house all my resources because I was starting, not resources, but blueprints, because I was starting to create quite a bit. So here I'm working on the mining function, just trying to get the text render to update, which is really just representing the variable for how much resources should be in that resource. There it kind of went haywire, but at least I know it works now. I'm making sure that it starts and stops with collision. Then I wanted to create a little charge station, which is going to be, I'm not really sure exactly where I was going to go with this. I just know that I wanted something to charge and be like a central object. So I created this charge station. As I go, I kind of like update my levels. I kind of like set dress the spaces. So there, it's just plus 100 to the battery charge just to test that it works. And then I also wanted to spawn it. I thought it'd be cool to be able to like purchase them with resources. Getting the spawning to set up exactly the way I wanted was a little weird. It kept like the offset was awkward, but I ended up just saying, you know what, I'll move on. So then I wanted to spawn a bridge. That was one of the things that I had originally thought would be really cool, is spawning a bridge. I've since moved much more towards movement based and not purchasing and building kind of stuff. But I created this little widget for like a building manager. And I kind of was hiding it, unhiding it. I couldn't really make it look that pretty right off the bat, but this is kind of the idea. You'd have like a gap like this, and you could go engineer a bridge or engineer a ramp to go up something. And I ran with that for a little while. Eventually, I got rid of kind of all of that and went with a purchasing pre-built or preset location buildings. But anyways, so like always, updating the map as I go along. Add a bush, but that's what the UI looked like for the building manager. Kind of StarCrafty, I don't know. But I added some lights also to add some immersion. Threw some Niagara particle effects in there to create kind of like a dusty landscape. And then I updated with some of those charge cubes. This is a battery management system that I created. So basically the batteries that you pick up are the main upgrades. So here is, and I'm going to probably call them by their wattage, but you can see at the top it's updating the battery. And then I made one of them like, okay, what's it specially going to do? Well, this one will give you a jetpack ability. So I created a little jetpack using a pre-built fab, effects kit. And that's kind of what it looks like jetpacking around. And I really dialed back on the jetpack because it kind of seemed like cheating. But then I updated my charge objects and created this little teaser. And that's kind of where that cinema came from and the intro reel.